Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your horrible, nasty, stinky, atrocious video games from all over the internet and turn them into the next AAA titles. I'm one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I am your other satisfied, hungry host, Blake Ray. AJ, I have a story that I wanted to tell you 4 days ago, but you said, no. Save it for the podcast.
Yeah, because our entire friendship is, in fact, performative, and if there's not a microphone going, then why would we be telling a story? It's a wasted effort. It's a wasted friendship hours.
I like to think of it this way. You and I will always have like a nice record of the entirety of our friendship.
You said, AJ, can I please tell you this story? It will we will bond better as friends, as allies, as partners, and as soul brothers, and it will help us fight God together, and it will make you a better friend to me. And I said, that's cool. Do not tell me it.
Unless I can make money off of it.
Unless, tell me about it unless I have a reason to hear.
So the thing I was mentioning to AJ is that I went to a restaurant recently that actually gamified eating. And it was the most bizarre thing. So, yeah, I know.
No, I drank my Monster Energy drink wrong. Hold on. This is what I get for making fun of you. Tell them about the sushi place. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay, sounds good. So basically, this is right near my work. There's this revolving sushi joint, and it's called Kura Kura Sushi, and it's so fucking cool. If you've never been to a conveyor belt sushi place, you will love it.
They're so good. They're so dirt cheap.
They get this one with like they trick you. They trick you. The plates are cheap.
Oh, yeah, how do you trick you? Because when I went to a conveyor belt sushi one time, I just continued to eat like $1 plates, and I ate so much.
This
sushi.
is not a $1 one. This one I guess is like a major chain, and I can guess that for two reasons. One, and this is imperative to the story, they were sponsored by Demon Slayer the anime. So once you walk into this revolving sushi restaurant, everything has Demon Slayer merch and layouts and just like a bunch of art all over the walls. And every plate is like $3.50. So that racks up pretty fast. That does rack up
pretty quick.
But here's the game element of it.
Yeah, I was about to say, now you mentioned that it's Demon Slayer inspired and decorated, but you said they gamified it somehow?
Now
are you going on an eating adventure with Tanjiro, Inosuke, and whatever the third kid's name is?
You are kind of close. It has this gotcha-ass element that was so fucking clever, but also kind of terrifying. So when you sit down, there's an iPad that's built into the wall right above the sushi conveyor belt. What you can do there is you can like order like actual plates of food and drinks, and there's a secondary conveyor belt where it'll take you like your dessert to you directly. It doesn't take the other conveyor belt. And when you order drinks, it all comes on a robot that rolls up to you and has a plate that it's holding, and then it sings you a song while you're taking your drinks off of it.
Okay, so hold on. We have 3 different delivery tactics for a food. We have the conveyor belt through everything. We have a conveyor belt specifically to your table, and you have a booze bot.
Yes. So here's the gamifying element of it. Above that iPad is a jar full of gachapon balls that have little prizes in them. So when you there are benchmarks of like when you are done eating a sushi, there's a little depository for your plate, and as you rack up more plates, you go through a narrative that is described on the iPad of like, oh no, the recipe for this man's soup has been stolen. Eat 5 more plates of sushi and you get to unlock the next part of the story. And you get like a recipe that you get a QR code to scan. So like you get a recipe that you can take home with you. But here's where it's fucking crazy, is that once you eat like 15 plates worth of sushi, that little gachapon machine drops a prize down a conveyor belt to your table, and you get a prize. And you can open it up, and it was Demon Slayer merch.
Did you get a little prize?
I didn't. I mean, I gave it to somebody else at our table. We got a little...
Who'd you get?
We got a little button of Nezuko. of
Okay, cool.
little Nezuko, and we gave it to my buddy to put on his bucket hat. Does not look good. A man of his caliber dressing with buttons of little anime girls, maybe not the best look.
No, that's a good look, actually.
No,
because
it's not.
Because
It
bucket
wasn't.
hats
It
need
wasn't
buttons.
good.
Here's the thing: bucket hats need buttons and pins. That's just the reality of bucket hats. And like maybe with the one singular little anime girl, it's a bad look. But if you had like 3 different little anime characters there, I think it's a good look.
You know what?
that can work.
That's a good point. Is it like having just
You know what the real
one-
problem is? That you guys were slacking
wearing
off
bucket hats.
and you weren't willing to get this person some more anime girl pins for their bucket hat.
You're implying that we didn't get more prizes. I went. So this was my first day. I went to Kura Sushi, and I had such a
I'm
good.
sorry, first day.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
they
is-
got you.
now
They
I
got
know-
you
now-
bad, didn't they?
Now I know how all of my friends have been taken away to gacha. It's like they hook you with the first session. That's like, remember when you first downloaded Fate, you got all of the prizes. They gave you a bunch of instant serotonin shit. Like, hey, here's your free starter package, and you got to buy whatever you wanted. And then as the days drew on, it became the grind. So I was
You
like,
know what's so funny is I picked up that Fate Grand Order like day one, so they gave me enough resources that I didn't have to think about grinding for like a year and a half, which was cool for me.
Oh, that just means they hooked you for even you're a year and a half more invested. So now you'll never leave. It'd be hard. It'd be easier to quit the game if you were invested for like a week, and they'd be like, "All right, whatever."
Now I'm 5 years into this stupid JPEG game, and God knows I will take that game to the grave.
So I went back to my office and I told everybody at the studio like about this place, and they were like, "Fuck, that's so cool. We should all go." And the next day, literally the next day, I got like all of the executives and a lot of the other content teams, and it's just like me and like 8 other people all just racking up points and racking up prizes. We ended up getting like a shit ton of free shirts. We got keychains.
They have shirts there?
Yeah, they gave you like these little Demon Slayer shirts. I think when you ate like 30 or 40 plates of sushi or something.
Hell yeah.
Which is like, we spent so
That's a good
much
deal.
money.
I've spent $30 at a lot of places, and very rarely do I get a free shirt out of it.
Oh, God, it was so cool. And when you come to LA, I need you to experience this with me. They do have vegetarian options, so you'd still have it would still be a good time for you. But yeah, no, it's just like it was something I was enjoying so much, but it gave me that thing of there's invisible things going on that are subconsciously convincing me to spend more money, and I hate it for that. There's like the whole gacha
Debatably
system.
not even that subconsciously. Like you said, you had a little chef there in the corner that said. Now, when you said little chef, did you mean like a guy, or did you mean Ratatouille's little chef? Just to clarify, really quick.
What are you talking about? Like the guy that's on the monitor?
The guy that's on the monitor, the chef that you described. That's just a man.
It's just like an animated
little
character.
Chef.
It's just some animated character that was chasing a raccoon that stole a soup recipe for some reason, and you got to unlock the narrative.
To make soup.
So it's just like you having to grind out so you can experience more of the story of the Lost Belts. I had to explore my own Lost Belt, and it was in the form of gachapon.
Now, did the raccoon
eating.
have any sort of long-winded speeches about humanity and the basic instincts that they have to desire survival and what it means for them to continue living in a world where they understand that they are not the apex life form? Or do you just get to see a raccoon eat? Oh, I'm just curious. Like you're gonna compare it to Fate Grand Order and how like I'm playing that game. You're gonna be like, oh, you're doing it just to experience the story. I'm just wondering if the story at the sushi restaurant had nearly as good of a story, or if it was just a fun little raccoon.
It was a fun little raccoon. It didn't have any depth to it. Who knows? Maybe once I ate like my 100th plate of sushi, I could have gotten this beautiful like long-winded narrative. But I didn't.
Did you get to make an account by chance so you can come back and pick up where you were in the story?
Yeah.
More important question, Blake, do you have an account so you can go back and pick up where you are in the store? So there's a chance. You could still get to a point where you get to see the raccoon talk about humanity.
I shit you not, there's an app, and I like my first time going there, I'm like, oh, I'm downloading the app, of course, because like you can like it's really cool. Like you can set reservations through the app ahead of time.
Who's your favorite character so far?
The raccoon. The raccoon's adorable. He's just the little dude that wants to steal soup recipes. He's like Slifer. One of those is a Yu-Gi-Oh! One of them is a Dora the Explorer thing. I don't remember which one.
They're actually the same guy.
They're the same dude. All right, but talking about food and gamifying shit, that is kind of what we do.
It's given me inspiration, actually,
Ooh.
and I feel like that means that I'm ready to do a video game idea submitted from our lovely audience.
Oh, okay.
This submission comes from Lurkin Always at Karu Slap. Also, not always lurkin'. We got you. You submitted a real one. This is CarPG, RPG set in the Cars universe. Blake, It's been a while since we've thought about Cars, the cinematic world, and also just Cars in general. Have we done a Cars game in a minute?
I don't think we've done a guide.
We've done a video game in a car recently, but we haven't done a video game about the cars.
Yeah, like I feel like early stages of SUCC, we did like a lot of driving themed games, and then we
There
just
was
kind
a
of
lot of cars in the early days.
Yeah, like I've noticed you and I go through phases where it's like the original like handful of games were definitely like racing oriented, and then we moved into a music themed thing, and then we're kind of in the dating game phase of SUCC right now. I feel like
I think we go back to the Cars era now. Blake, you remember the Cars movie?
Yeah, how it's a post-apocalyptic world about cars that took over the humans as the apex predator. I've watched Fate. I know it's very similar to Cars.
It's exactly like Cars in a lot of ways.
Wait, hold on. What if this is a DLC for your Fate Go game and one of the multiverses they go to?
A chapter of Fate Grand Order where in this Lost Belt humans became cars.
Yes, but all of the everybody gets skins of them as cars. So Artoria Pendragon as a sweet what are they called? It's that one really cool badass motorcycle.
Motorcycle, yeah.
It's not Miyazaki. It's fucking Suzuki.
Fucking cool badass motorcycle with two wheels and a handlebar and a little windshield on front. Hey, I don't know what a Suzuki motorcycle looks like.
It's just think of any street motorcycle. They all look the same.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. So so we get to basically make turn all of our favorite Fate characters and have them smash into the Cars universe.
Now, we could do that. Mm-hmm. Or we could do an RPG where we get to play around with the meta, or we get to play around with the lore that was established in Cars 2, the sequel to Cars. Did you see Cars 2? Starring Tow Mater?
No. Oh, wait. No, this is the one where he becomes a spy, right?
This is the one where he becomes a super spy.
I don't think about that because that movie was so drastically different than the first one, and
You're
why
right.
I like the first one.
It wasn't about racing. It was about racing at all.
Stuff. It's just like them trying to do some bullshit spinoff, and then they realized that was dumb, and then they came back for Cars 3.
Tow Mater saved the nation. He saved the European Piston Cup.
Yeah, it's a made-up movie for made-up fucking cars. Who cares?
I just think that what this opens up the opportunity for is the idea of a world in which we can start specializing vehicles and play with different kind of cars.
Because I think
a lot of car video games out there play with, racing fast, but very few car games play with the power that comes with having an amphibious vehicle like the Slug Bug. I don't know if they're amphibious, but I do know that they float.
I respect the direction you're going into. It just doesn't have enough stank for me. Let me pitch you on this.
Would you like a gacha game?
I want to go to the gacha game thing because there's a term out there that I think we could really lean into. Have you ever heard of car porn? You've worked at a car shop before. You've worked on cars before. You know of car porn, right?
No. Hey,
wait, you've never heard that
Blake,
term before?
Sorry, do I need to pull you aside from the show? Hey, Blake, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's in that same vein as like cabin porn. It's just like these images or these really well done images of a certain topic, and they just call it porn because it's that immersive. You
promise that's what it is. So right now, if I open up Google and I Google car porn, I'm not going to find anything else. You promise that it's just beautiful photos of cars.
No, it goes. You type in car porn and it immediately goes to porn on.
Huh, that's interesting. It's not all what you described to me, Blake, just now. It's weird how that happened. It's weird how I can't trust anything that comes out of your mouth sometimes.
Okay, I thought this was I stand corrected. So cabin porn, it
Now,
yeah,
is that going to be what you
okay.
described it in any way, shape, or form? If I Google cabin porn, what will I
Yes,
find?
this one you will just see beautiful images of cabins.
Well, no, because the second row I'm looking at boobs. So, like,
What
you're
are we
not,
talking
you can't
about?
be trusted.
Like, I literally I see
I
nothing.
will admit, it is nowhere near as sexually charged as car porn, which, wow, that was a lot to look at so early in the morning.
Oh wait, hold on a second. I typed in cabin porn all one word. When I included the space between the two words, yeah, I got the boobies.
Blake, you forgot to put the thigh gap in the search bar?
Fucking Christ. So, okay, but what I'm getting at here is because I want to make a game that's stanky. I want to make a game that's fucking stupid.
Now, what if I offer you this, is that we do a little addition that is in the Cars universe?
Okay. Are you saying we're going to get some... This is... What's his face?
Blake, I'm going to expose you for the internet really quick.
Oh.
You remember how in My Little Pony, the little ponies have to... they don't have the little marks right from the get-go.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're just normal horses.
Yeah, they got to earn their cutie mark. I'm familiar with the lore.
Yeah. Now, are you familiar with how they made sure that we as the audience knew that Porsche in Cars 1 was a sexy car? Do you remember how we knew that as an audience?
She had a I don't know if that term is actually kosher anymore. I don't know if I want to say it, but she had the tattoo above her on her lower back.
I'll say it. My brand certainly can't be damaged. Yeah, she had a Cars tramp stamp. I believe they might have just referred to it as a bumper sticker, but yeah, she had a Cars tramp stamp. Now what if, hear me out, you unlocked the car, you bonded with the car, you upgraded the car, but only after hitting a certain amount of qualifications did you unlock the bumper sticker.
So, I mean, so what are you getting at? Like, it's just...
I'm saying that it's just a car, and you don't realize that it's a car that you want to fuck until you spent enough time with it and it gets a bumper sticker.
Oh,
and then the little JPEG that you have of the car changes to like a fun, sexy cabin porn photo of the car.
Okay, I like this.
But of just the bumper sticker on the back.
No, I like this
else.
because this is going in that route. I'm trying to find my cabin porn book. I had one on my shelf for the longest time.
You just keep porn laying around.
It was a gift. Fuck you. I'm not a freak. People think I'm a freak and buy me weird shit. So I'm trying to figure out, is this a game that starts out like just a regular ass racing game, and then by the end of it, it's like you just midway through the game, they're like, wow, they're being really suggestive with this car. And then towards the end of the game, it's like, wow.
After 20 hours, you realize that the main character's dialogue is really sexually charged towards the vehicle.
Yeah,
like, before, everyone's like, that's a cool car you've got there. And then by the end of it, the delivery's like, that's a hot piece of car you got there. It's a hot piece
of rear end. It's rear fenders. I'm going to go give her a fender bender. I'm sorry, I hate this.
A little bit of I'm trying to get into a little bit of stop and go traffic, if you know what I'm saying.
This is gonna be a real rolling stop, if you know what I mean.
And like, you're playing the game, you're like, what the hell is my competitor talking about? Like, Blake, I'm going to put a pin in this because I haven't decided what the gameplay is actually like yet. Would you like to give us a mission?
Sure. I just think it's just so charged. All right, this one comes to us on Twitter from Mick Buzzer, at Mick Buzzer. I don't know about the details, but a Chainsaw Man game made by you guys sounds awesome. AJ, here's everything I know about Chainsaw Man.
Yes, this is exactly what I was going to ask you.
So I know people have... this is a world where there are demon hunters that their face can turn into some specific, if not arbitrary material or weapon. There is one guy, the titular character, Chainsaw Man, who has a chainsaw handle that is embedded in his chest, and when he pulls it, he turns into a chainsaw. His head turns into a chainsaw, and his hands
Yes.
get chainsaws. But that goes for like other characters. There's this one girl who has a grenade pin on her neck, and it's like a sideways choker. And I gotta say, fucking incredible design. Love her. I love her design. I have the biggest crush on her. Oh, she's so cute. I think she's evil, though. I don't know. And her head turns into a grenade. It's really rad. And then the other thing that I know about it is that there is one woman that everybody wants to call mommy. And it's the lady with the orange eyes and wears the suit and has like red crimson hair. And it's like crosshairs for eyes, I think. Or is that the other girl? The one that has like the horns.
Though I don't remember which one has crosshairs for eyes. I think that is Power, the other one.
Power.
So you know some of the characters.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think Chainsaw Man is about? If I were to tell you, hey Blake, could you give me a summary of the story of Chainsaw Man? No powers or visuals.
It's
just
about,
like, what's it about?
It's about a young man who's very clearly 16, 17, rolling with a bunch of 30-year-olds and growing up. It's a coming of age story. Because he's like in high school, right? But everybody else is like an adult, is like clearly past 21, mid-20s.
Yeah. No, he's literally the only child in the room in multiple scenes.
He also wants to touch boobs. That was another defining character. That's another defining thing, I think. Like he was like, "Hey, I want to know what it's like to be intimate with a woman before I die." And then he gets it, and I guess it's not very good or something.
Okay. And now what sort of obstacles does our main character face? We understand that he's a 16-year-old surrounded by 30-year-olds who can turn into a chainsaw man. What are the obstacles? Like you said, it's about him just trying to grow up, and it's a coming of age story. What sort of issues is he running into?
I think he's falling in love with lots of different women, but each one of them turns out to be, haha, twist, they're evil, or their plans contradict his so much that they have to fight. Because I think that's what happens with him and Redhead
Is that a
Girl.
bit, or is that legitimately what you think the series is about?
That's legitimately what I think it's about. I think it's about falling in love with the wrong people, or falling in love with people that you don't have long-term compatibility with, and I guess there's just monster fighting for some reason.
Now, look at monster fighting. Where did the monsters come from?
Well, he has a chainsaw for a face. That's not something. that's not something you you just have it with.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you're just
combat.
A guy who with a chainsaw for a face.
Anime doesn't work that way. Actually, it kind of does.
So we need to think about how to create this as a video game. You're a boy who's part chainsaw. You're surrounded by 30-year-olds, and you just want to touch some boobs.
Okay. Real quick, how on the money was I with my Chainsaw Man? I have not seen any Chainsaw Man. I have just heard stuff about it through the grapevine.
The read that he is a boy that continues to get into bad relationships for him is like sort of a read that I wouldn't be shocked to know that other people have had.
Oh, okay.
I want you to read this series so badly, Blake.
I know. It's definitely on my list. It has that level of grit and just grime and badassery that I just love.
And you know what? This does shine to me as a video game adaptation, because if I'm being honest with you, Chainsaw Man, if you Google image search it, it looks like a goddamn metalcore poster.
It's so cool.
Like one of the first images that we see of the Chainsaw Man is the Chainsaw Man standing on a horde of zombies, ripping through flesh and bone with chainsaws. And it's a very cool image. Here's the thing, Blake, like you said, it's about a 17-year-old hanging out with 30-year-olds. It's not like... Like, you know how like Berserk is a metal show visual, but then like all of people's favorite moments are like the dude sitting around a campfire just vibing,
standing by a waterfall, and just doing.
Chainsaw Man has a similar moment at times where it's the quiet moments that matter, and so I love this idea of creating a game, just a little like life simulator with a character who can also turn into a chainsaw for a face. Mm-hmm. What if we just had a video game where it was a simulator where you're just walking around talking to people, but you had a devil trigger. At any time, you can press the button and activate Chainsaw Man mode. Oh. Now, what does being in Chainsaw Man mode give you? Nothing. But it's a button you can press, but most of the game is just you walking around talking to people. Think Laser Shoot Larry, but if it wasn't as problematic as it was. Think Leisure Suit Larry, but if people looked at Leisure Suit Larry and said you're an actual child, please do not hang out with me. I'm a 30-year-old adult grown up.
So it's like actually you're trying to maneuver this world, but everybody treats you like they should actually treat you.
Yeah, everyone treats you like a child.
Oh my god. Dude, sorry. I'm just like, I got caught up looking at Chainsaw Man images, and they're just all so fucking good and colorful.
It is such a good-looking manga. I'm going to break away from the show that we do and just give a hearty recommendation for Chainsaw Man. Everybody that's listening to this show should read Chainsaw Man.
I have a crush on this lady. Hardcore crush.
There's a lot of them. I'm not surprised.
A lot of them.
Whichever one you're saying, I'm not surprised.
It's the lady with the grenade pin collar thing. She's just so cute. How do we go about putting some stank on this? Is the stank about teaching people that it's going to be?
I think the stank is just the lie of the ad campaign.
Okay. So the Chainsaw Man, because I've seen the trailer, it feels like it is really like quiet though. So how would that be a trick? Like Chainsaw Man, based off of the marketing I've seen for it, it's a lot of quiet moments that have explosive big moments of combat and battling.
We only show people cutscenes in the ad campaign. We only show them QuickTime events and cutscenes. And so people think it's a super balls to the wall action adventure. And then like you'll see some Reddit blogs that are like, well, we haven't seen much gameplay yet. And that's because there isn't. there is no gameplay that looks like that. You're going to be walking around a block. You're going to have one of the characters walk up to you, Chainsaw Man, and say, hey, you got to go out on patrol. And you're going to do a 20-minute long walking sequence. Will there be dialogue during this?
You bet.
No.
What? No?
I think there will be some times where you're just patrolling in dead silence, because let's be honest, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's just a boring day on the job.
Is that what they do? They patrol? Like they just...
Yeah, it's an anime manga series with a generic demon hunting thing. Oh. Yeah, patrolling is like the verb that characters constantly reference that we hardly ever see.
Oh, okay.
Which is, of course, a common thing in like adventure stuff like this, right? Like Attack on Titan gestures towards characters going on patrol. Psychopath gestures towards characters going on patrol.
Yeah, even Demon Slayer does that, yeah.
Yeah, we just always see the series when the patrol has gone wrong. But this is a video game where you see the patrols going right painfully often.
Ooh. Okay, God, I do want to read this. I'm just looking at these two, and they're just so cute. And I'm probably going to get spoilers.
Do you want to stop the podcast and you could just read Chainsaw Man?
No, because I want to be here, and I want to make people laugh, and I want to make people entertained. All right, we should...
Okay, but audience, I want you all to know that this is a conscious choice that Blake is making, and he could be watching or reading Chainsaw Man right now. So if you're not enjoying this show to your hardest intent... This is Blake's wasted Chainsaw Man hours.
Leave a bad review. Just like leave a real shitty review saying Blake.
No, leave a good review. Just know that, again, Blake is making a conscious choice to entertain you.
Okay. Let's move on to another game. Do you have another idea?
I'm sure I got another idea kicking around here somewhere.
Yo.
This comes from Adequate Orange on Twitter, @Adequate Orange. VTubers and vaping are popular among the youth. Make a must-own game featuring as many as you can muster. Now, Blake, vaping recently had a huge blow done to it, with JUUL being not granted FDA approval. Now, I think it's about time that VTubers are also not given FDA approval. Okay, well, here's the thing. Actually, I take it back. We have two options. And both of them excite me equally. Option 1, we are creating a video game where we show how bad VTubers could be. Option 2, which maybe excites me more, we do a video game with as many VTubers as possible, and they're vaping as much as we can, and the VTubers can get away with it because it's all fake, baby.
Yes,
like it's not real. So it's not a real JUUL, motherfuckers. What are you going to do? You cannot outlaw Dollop Days or Gora Guar, the little shock shark girl from JUULing because they have fake jewels.
So here's the setup for this game. This is
the VTuber. VTubers are capable of causing true thought crime because they're fake.
Yeah.
But they're real, and we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the Schrodinger-ness of VTubers.
No, it's not at all different than, like, say, two people doing a podcast.
If a VTuber's smoking a JUUL, then they are committing a crime.
Okay.
But the JUUL's not real, but they are? Mind freaked.
No, but they're still real. Like, it's all, I mean...
That's what I'm saying, is that it is real, but where's the evidence?
This is so much deeper than what I'm prepared for. So, JUUL is trying to recoup their losses from not being approved by FDA. There's a guy in the office is like, hey,
but they still want to tell teenagers that they're cool, right? Like, how's it going? I'm JUUL. I'm a real shitbag. I want teens to think that vaping is cool.
Yeah.
I've partnered with Maury Calliope. I've given her JPEGs of JUULs.
Yeah, here's a fully rigged 3D model. We animated some smoke clouds for you.
Fully 3D model of a JUUL.
Okay, I want to tell a quick side story really quick, just on this topic, because two things concerning this happened in the same day. One, there's a window right in front of my office at work where it's tinted, so I can see out into the world, but nobody can see into our office. And
right.
One of the things I love is just like watching people come up to that window and use it as a mirror, and they'll just like look at themselves or like do certain things, and you just catch people like in their own private life of just when they think nobody's watching. And there's this one guy hitting his vape in front of the window, and we were all looking at him and just laughing. And then this guy doesn't have pockets, so he just took his vape rig and just stuffed it into his ass, and he just left it there. I just think about that, man, of like, man, he thought nobody was watching him do that, but ooh. And yeah,
the betrayal of trust.
And the second thing concerning this office,
although in his defense, what was he thinking, imagining that he was just in a public parking lot with a big mirror in front of it? Like, that's not real.
So just picture the biggest fucking
You know what? I don't know
JUUL.
what's crazier. I'm thinking about it now. I'm really trying to think about it, and I'm trying to decide what I think is crazier. The idea of a free to the public mirror on the side of a building, or the idea that some business has decided to put a one-way mirror on their store. Like, just put a window there, team.
No, I mean, but when you work at a studio, you don't want people to see what you're working on inside.
Then don't have a window there.
So what? You're gonna work in a windowless fucking like artificial light environment? That sounds like hell. That sounds like working in the basement of Disney. That sounds.
You and I have both
awful.
worked in environments with no exterior windows.
Wait, what are you
before.
talking about? Like, I mean, well, yeah, and I got depressed.
I can guarantee that when you were running tapes, you had multiple days where you did not see sunlight.
That's right. When I worked at my grandma's tape company, that I was in the warehouse.
When I worked at a warehouse wrapping cable, I also went multiple days without ever seeing sunlight.
And guess what? That was the saddest we fucking felt in our lives. So no, I will never want to go back.
The alternative would be that the business would put a giant one-way mirror on the side of their building.
Yeah, and then we get to laugh at whoever. Then we get to laugh at the people shoving
bonkers.
JUULs in their ass. It's like it's that.
Just put up a window.
No, because then they can see inside and they can see all the equipment we have, and then they'll be like, "Oh, that I could break this window and steal that and get away with it." No, but the second thing I wanted to bring up concerning VTubers is I work media content management, right? So I'm about pitching.
Have you done a VTuber collab yet?
I was pitching my coworkers on that. Picture a room full of like 30-plus-year-olds.
Legally, are you allowed to say this, or is this under NDA technically?
No, this is not under NDA because we're not going through with it. And we didn't officially contact anybody, and I'll explain why. So basically, I am pitching an idea to all my team of like, hey, let's do this VTuber thing. Like, we could have some fun, talk about what it's like to mic up VTubing and, the setups that they need to do for that. And then, like, my boss is like, what's VTubers? So I just pull up VTube compilations and show them, yeah, this is the world of VTubing. And nobody was into it. Nobody wanted to do it. And I think...
Now, here's the question. How many teenagers do you work with?
I work with none. All of them are like, I'm kind of surprised that my co-editing coworker doesn't know about VTubers. She's only like a year older than me. Everybody else is like,
this is what I'm saying. Teens love VTubers and JUUL loves teens.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We got to combine the two. We got to have
We don't have to. Well, we have to because we have a business practice of doing bad, but like in the real world, don't do this.
No.
How do we create a
Gamify
video
it.
game around VTubers?
I feel like you could do some sort of VTuber manager game, not where you are the VTuber, but you are the person. Oh my God, this is great.
You get to play as what's the company that owns Gora?
I don't know, but like the people that says like, hey, we own your identity, and if we want to replace you, we can at any moment. So you are not doing a VTuber simulator. You are doing a VTuber management simulator.
Hololive. This is a Hololive video game. You get to manage the official likenesses of all of the other Hololive girls.
Guess what?
Like
so that
Gora
means managing contracts, managing the people, like personalities.
I wish I knew other VTubers.
I don't know.
Those are the only two that I know from Hololive.
I don't engage in VTubing too much. I like watching compilations. I think that's kind of funny. Like when Game Garo just says shit and fuck in her like adorable anime voice, I laugh my ass off because
there's a lot of Hololive characters. Hey, that's just a character from Fate Grand Order, isn't it?
I mean,
if I just googled Hololive characters and I'm looking at a lineup and there's the two that I know and then there's three more and one of them has like angel wings and a bunch of tentacles. This is a Fate Grand Order character. You cannot trick me.
I mean, are you talking about Hollow Myth or Ina or something? I mean, also, fucking Fate has such generic character designs too, where it's like, yeah, of course it's gonna kind of look like that. There will be it's similarities. You can only make anime girls so different.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my God,
anyway,
she does look like the Eldritch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the Eldritch lady you're telling me about. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
FGO key.
Who is the most famous? It has to be Guaru, right?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, like I feel like I see the most compilations of her. So, what does this game look like? Is it we are? God.
I hear you laughing. This means this is good. This is a good tangent. What are we thinking?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at images of Hololive, and I just see some weird images of the Hololive characters in full body VR augmented reality suits, which is like totally wild that that's a thing that can be done now. Have you seen that before? Where they like get full on like motion capture suits and then to pair that to a rigged like 3D character so they can move.
I'm not shocked.
They move all their fingers, their legs, and they like shoot against a green screen and then just like composite their 3D selves into a 3D environment.
Well, isn't there that one? There's that one VTuber that like her whole thing is trying to get like a super in-depth character model, and like she'll stream herself and the character model up on screen at the same time. I know that the dude with the long hair and the baseball hat that talks like this all the time, he did a collaboration with her because I see memes from them all the time.
I don't know.
He's the moist guy. Critical. That's his name. Critical did a collaboration with some VTuber that, like, again, the whole thing is just like trying to get like a super hyper detailed model tracking all of their movements.
Okay, so let's figure out our game. Maybe we can fit in one more game, and then we got to figure out our nugget.
So yeah, this is a management game, and as you manage, you are constantly managing and picking out what VTuber girl and what JUUL they are smoking. This is a collaboration. The VTubers do not get a vote in whether or not their characters are being used for this. This is the wonder of Hololive, as I understand it.
Yeah, we don't buy the voice actor, we buy the character. So we just get
Exactly.
our own voice actors. You know, it'd be
Or no voice at all.
no,
Why not?
No. That's like one of the big things about VTubers is like
They'll never know. They're playing a video game. We could just clip little barks from all of their streams.
Oh, okay. All right. So how does this game devolve? It's like you just build this monopoly of Hololive.
Does it perhaps start as a fun Hololive game where people just play it thinking that they get to do a fun little Hololive manager, and then we slowly leak in the idea of JUULs being introduced for the characters?
And then it's just you have JUULs become an optional accessory, and then as the game goes on, it becomes
a mandatory accessory.
It becomes mandatory accessories, and then you need to start building your whole like brand around it, and it's just like this devolvement of like overly taking over like your brand's characters, and it's just.
And again, this is the perfect crime because Hololive characters aren't real,
Yeah,
and they cannot
and if anybody
get in
complains, we can
trouble
always
for smoking a
rehire them.
JUUL.
There's more voice actors out there. Fuck it. It's more fun.
This is horrible, and this might be the most cursed thing that we've created, and I do see it happening in the real world one day.
Oh, totally. I mean, we're already seeing it. Like, I feel like VTubers get replaced all the time.
I know of one conspiracy where it happened because I fell prey to it and was convinced that one of them was replaced. But apparently the internet has not confirmed or denied whether or not she had been replaced or not. But it is an option.
Okay. All right. So, what do we want to do? Are we going to do one more game? Actually, who gave that one? I think you gave it, right?
That was me. I think we should pick a nugget.
You want to pick a nugget? Okay. All right.
We're at 3 submissions now.
Oh, that's right.
That's a healthy amount for nugget selection.
Okay. I think our
We
Chainsaw
have a
Man isn't
VTuber.
really stanky. I'm not too big on it. So it's between our VTuber game and our Cars but Sexy game.
Yeah.
I think it's Cars but Sexy. It has to be, right?
You want to make Cars but Sexy?
Cars but
I
Sexy.
kind of like the idea of a game where we try to specifically use JUULs and VTubers to market towards teens in a video game.
That is like definitely out of the two more evil.
What else do teens like? Think about it. We need to think about what teens
Fortnite,
like, and this is the horrifying part, Blake. We have to do this exercise now when we are in the later half of 26, and I think this is the first time we're going to notice it. I think this is the first time you and I are going to notice that we are going to have a
Out of
hard
the
time
loop.
thinking about what teenagers like.
Yeah.
They like VTubers.
Mm-hmm.
They like JUULs.
They like
Do
music
they
events in
still
the
like
digital
Fortnite?
spaces. So yeah, they still like Fortnite. They like attending events in Fortnite, or they like attending events in
Dude,
digital spaces.
teens still
Don't
like
search that.
Fortnite.
You will officially become an old fucking man if you type anything of do teens like. I will disown you for being
More than
old.
6 in 10 teenagers say they like Fortnite, but this was research done in December 2018. That's so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Fortnite's only gotten bigger since then. So yeah, I'd say like a good 8 and 10 teens like Fortnite. All right, so
Teens like Snapchat. We know that. Can we get Snapchat in the mix?
Snapchat's still relevant. I feel like most people have jumped over to TikTok as like their
Here's the thing,
content
bud.
platform.
Hey, unfortunately, teens still do like Snapchat, and more controversially, they like Snapchat for the same reasons we liked Snapchat when we were teenagers. That is literally all I'm going to say about the topic.
I mean, that's not really like anything to be fearful of saying. It's just like if fucking teens want tools, dude, and that's their tool. Like, who gives a shit?
And we're moving on from this.
Why? I mean, I'm not saying I want to talk about it more in depthly. I just don't understand your aversion to being like it's not like you're going.
My aversion is the fear of talking about it more.
I don't think you should be as
It's
scared.
an elephant in the room.
Why?
It's there.
Why?
I won't be talking about
Teens,
it more.
okay, as much as like fucking old people want to think like, oh, teens, they
Because
don't
here's
do.
the thing, I'm not about to blow up their spot. Like, I feel like this is the one thing I can still do for teenagers.
Do you
and
think
like,
old people listen to this podcast? Do you think parents listen to
Well,
this
I certainly
podcast to
hope-
get insight into what their 14-year-old is up to? No. Our parents don't even listen to us, and they birthed us. They like, I doubt somebody else is like gonna fucking listen and like learn how to influence their kid, or like
what else do teenagers like?
Okay, they love God.
So they like JUULs They like VTubers, and they like disposable media. Blake Rhea, we are going to kill a VTuber.
We're going to kill a VTuber? Which VTuber are we killing? The first VTuber assassination?
Popular vote. Popular vote. We can let the teens vote to execute a VTuber.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on. You're onto something here. So we create.
Teens love disposable media.
Yes.
They love VTubers. They love voting and engaging with the content.
Yes.
And the more that our horrible country falls apart, the more teens will feel like they want to vote and be part of something together, and giving them the ability to vote.
Their vote actually like has an impact and matters. So here's our fucked up game. So we start our own Hololive company. We get our own cast of VTubers, and it's all based off of a rating system. So it's kind of like Survivor, where every month we have to get rid of a VTuber, and we don't as a company, but the community that engages with all these VTubers decides on which one they don't want there. And it's like, because it might not always be because they're the least funny. It could be because of drama starting within the community. It could be bullshit that you and I have manufactured to make somebody look bad.
We've manufactured drama to get a VTuber executed.
Reality TV does it all the fucking time. We could do it too. We can make so much money. So it's disposable income. It's like, and we get even crazier with it, AJ. Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of a VTuber. So you spend 2 years making content underneath this identity, and you are so attached to it. But when people vote you out, we don't just kick you out. We just delete any existence of you from our record. Like, all of your videos get destroyed, because like that's what Markiplier did. It was like, hey, be present or don't be involved at all. And that's what he did with that year of like vlogs. Unis Honest, where it was like 100 episodes of just content that he just got rid of. Like, that blows my mind that somebody's like, yeah, here's all of this income I could be passively making for the rest of my life.
I want to have one caveat to this rule.
What's up?
You can buy digital recreations of each of the VTubers' JUULs, because each one of them will have their own specifically modeled 3D asset of a JUUL.
You should totally have that. But if that character gets deleted, it's gone forever.
As merchandise, but when the person gets executed, then the only remnants that exist is the merchandise for them. Digital merchandise, no physical merchandise.
It goes to your character that you can carry when you do VTubing, or you go into like VR chat or something. It's like, I got the game VR.
If you use a created Hololive model that we've accepted as part of it, then you can use a fun Hololive JUUL.
When you hover over somebody's character profile, one of the stats they have is how many pulls they've taken on a vape. It's like and there's like a whole because I'm trying to think, okay, we got the VTuber aspect down. It's like, how do we get people to be invested in the vape?
We would just put numbers there, and people love watching the numbers go up.
But
teens love watching the number go up.
That's true. Either it's the likes on their social media post or the views on their videos on TikTok. Yeah, you're totally right.
Or their Snap story chain going up.
So
or Snap.
Here's
what's it called when it's like a row, like a streak? There it is.
Yeah. So the other thing I'm thinking of is we want to get people hooked on vapes, or just like is involved in vapes. It's all about limited or releases, like physical releases. So every month we do.
What are you thinking? Because I want it to be clear. We've spent our time currently marketing towards. Accidentally marketing ourselves towards teenagers, and obviously the FDA is already on our shit about this.
I mean,
so we cannot release JUULs into the world that are smoking tools.
Oh, okay. No, how about this? But
if you have another product we could sell to teenagers relating to JUULs and VTubers, I'm all ears.
I do. So when the monthly vote happens of like, hey, what VTuber are you voting to be replaced and deleted, everybody who voted for that person that successfully was deleted gets sent a nicotine-free vape bottle, or whatever the fuck they're called, the oils. Or I don't vape, so I don't know what the fuck it's called.
I think it's the oils specifically that were not accepted by the FDA.
Well, I mean, you can still sell them. It's just not accepted by the FDA.
isn't that the whole thing? They can't sell anymore?
No, you still can. It's just you're not allowed to put FDA approved on your shit. Like that's how
JUUL's e-cigarettes can't be sold in the U.S.
Wait, really? Is that what it said?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Well,
On Friday, a federal court appeal issued a temporary administrative stay pausing the ban, allowing JUUL to continue e-cigarettes
so we
for
can't.
now.
So we can't do any physical releases whatsoever.
We cannot physically sell anything to smoke. That is exactly the problem.
Okay,
We're
how
trying
about
to
this?
advertise towards teenagers with a fake
How
product.
about this? This is the fucking jam. We send them an amiibo of a rig. And if they bring that to their VR headset, it like scans it, and then bam, they now have that JUUL in their hand. So you have amiibos, but it's different rigs that you can't smoke out of them. They're not built to be smoked, but they do
it is
have
a JUUL for your VTuber.
It's a JUUL for your VTuber. Now,
Yes.
picture an amiibo collection. Like I forget who it was, but there was somebody in my life.
So it's not even amiibos that people have. They just have a collection of flash drives that look like vape pens.
Yes, flash. Oh, that's what we call them, flash pens. Ooh, instead of flash drive, flash pen. Ooh,
Flash pen is good.
yo. Okay, so what are we calling this game? What is it? Just
It's less of a game and more of a project, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
sort of like how we're going to be readjusting our projects moving forward and how we're going to be adjusting all of our JUUL marketing and our Hololive marketing. This is just sort of like the Hololive JUUL collaboration.
do we just call it Project JUUL? Maybe.
Project JUUL? Do we spell it JUUL like the
how do they
gemstone, or do we
spell it?
spell it JUUL like jewels? JUUL's the smoking tool are JUUL.
JUUL, JUUL, Project JUUL. Yeah, I feel like we could
But we
go.
do like pretty font and stuff. It's Hololive's Project JUUL.
Hololive's Project JUUL. Ooh, I can't wait to get
And I
sued
love
by
this because
two
if I
different
catch a whiff
people.
of these two companies even partnering in any way, shape, or form, I will be using this in a court of law
Yeah.
to sue both of these companies. I
God,
swear to God, I will
Makes
waste
so
all
much
of their money.
I want to get in on that e-cigarette money. Like I don't
You know
not
what?
because I want to sell
Even if it
e-cigarettes,
costs
but like
me money, I just want to cause both of these companies agony.
Hololive Project JUUL. All right,
I'm going to email this podcast episode to as many email boxes as I can to the JUUL company and the Hololive company so that there's like a paper trail so that I know that if they ended up doing this, there's even an inkling of evidence to support that they stole it from us. I'm not joking, Hololive and JUUL. Watch your
They have
fucking
so much money.
backs.
Yeah, sure. All right. And with that, let's go to patch notes.
Let's go to patch notes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. Blake and I have a little call to action for all of you guys. I know we do those all the time during the Patch Notes. I'm sure that you're sick of the little call to actions every time. But this is a little bit more of a fun one, a little bit more of a party one.
Yeah, if you want to be on the show, I'm stealing it from you now. If you want to be on the show, come submit a game idea, wild and wacky as you want it to be. Submit it to us on Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook. Actually, we're not on Facebook. Don't send us to on Facebook. We got a private.
Don't find us on Facebook.
Don't find us on Facebook. That's where I go to shit on my Republican uncles.
That's where I go to shit on Blake's Republican uncles.
All right. Until then, we will see you next
Blake,
week.
where would they find us on Twitter and Reddit?
Oh, at @spiritual_suck. Reddit, we actually have our own dedicated Reddit page. If you want to do some submissions there or see some art releases and get little trailers to upcoming projects that we're doing or releases, you can just check us out on those platforms.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and leave the show for today. As always, our intro and outro music is Cheap Shot by Anna Monoguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I've been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made.